Hello viewer, thank you for joining me today. I'm Dave, the Fugly Vapor, as you can see. And today I want to just have a quick look at this here. It's the Sense Cyclone RBA. For all those of you out there like me who bought the Cyclone and then bought the RBA kit as well. Some of you may be familiar with this system, which I'll show you in a second. Others of you may not, so this may be helpful to some, not to others. But excuse me. Anyway, without further ado, we'll go down on the desk. I'll show you what's in the box and stuff, and then I'll show you how I coil and wick it. So I'll see you down there in a sec. Right, viewer. So here we are with the Cyclone RBA. That's the top of the box, obviously. Stay in my finger. Where'd that come from? There's nothing on there apart from a barcode and Sense. One piece there. It says Sense RBA there, and there's just an order sticker and order number from GearBest. And on the back, if you want to have a look at this, you can have a read of it. I shall get it into focus for you, and you can pause it and read it at your leisure, should you wish. There you go. Like why you'd want to, I don't know, but there we go. Here it is, and then there's just the website address and scratch and sniff, and the usual warnings. So, right, getting down to the nitty gritty. Getting the focus back on Fugly. In the box, you get this little bag. Now ignore this here, if I can get it out. That doesn't come in the box. That's the stock coil that comes fitted to the Cyclone. What you do get in the box is, try and get these on the dark, you see. What you do get in the box is a few O-rings. You get two of those little plastic jobbies, two of these little plastic jobbies, and the actual RBA base itself, which I'm going to take out of the Cyclone tank in just a moment. Which I should probably regret, because I'm probably going to get covered in e-liquid again. This is a challenge. I mean, if any of you out there have, back in the day, were recoiling the Kanger OCC coils and the Aspire coils, this will be nothing new to you, really. Before I take that off there, I'm just going to, very typical. I have been absolutely fine until I turn the camera on, and my nose starts to twitch. So if you just excuse me a second, I'll just blow my throat. That's it. I don't want to sit here sniffing all day. So yeah, let's just get this out of here. Where'd it go? Right. Now, that's what we're going to end up with. Let me just zoom in and try and get a bit of focus for you. This is what we're aiming to end up with. This little bit of plastic here, which has got two little cutouts, one just there and one on the other side, obviously for the wicking. And there's the wick and the coil. I'll just poke that little hole out of there. And obviously those are your legs for your coil. So, how do we get to that stage, Fugly? Well, it's like this. We just take this to pieces. This may be the biggest mistake of my life. Have a go and see. Take that out of there. Put that over there. Right. Now then. We just put these bits and pieces back in here so I don't lose them. So there's 3 or 4 O-rings. Also, what came in this little packet was a couple of pieces of wire. I know not of what gauge or what variety, so they went straight in the bin. So, right. Now, excuse me. The first one of these that I built around a 4mm post. Right. Apologies for that. Bloody postman. So yeah, the first one was a 4mm, and although it fits, it's a bit of a faff. I might go back to it when I've done a few more 3.5. So I've gone 3.5mm now. Still 0.5mm Canthal. Still 9 wraps. Aiming for about 0.5-ish. And this is actually take 3, because when I came back before, I was babbling away, blah blah blah, and the camera wasn't recording. So right, I will get this video finished sometime today. So there's the base out of the tank. There's the tank. There's the base of it, and this is the RBA base bit where the coil is going to sit in a few minutes, hopefully. So this will be take 2 of swapping these coils over, but this bit, swapping the coils, actually putting the coils in here is not a major problem, he says. Probably famous last words. That's the kiss of death for Fugly. Right, so we screw this piece off here, like so. Put it to one side. There's the coil, what I made earlier. And turn this exposure down a little bit, and a little brightness up a little bit, in focus. There you can see. There you can see the negative wire. Sorry, the positive wire there, and the negative wire just there, which will become clear in just a moment, because I'm going to take this thing to pieces again. So I'm going to drop that focus down to there and pull this pin out like so. Pull out this rubber piece, which is a little harder because I've got no grip on it. Where's my pliers? I must get some more bloody decent pliers, some small nose pliers, not like these things. But hey, so there we have the rubber grommet thing and the 510 connector pin thing, and then all we've got to do then is take that coil out, which is there. So we just come back up to focus. There's your little juice intakes on both sides. There's the coil, looking as gunky as hell. So here's one I prepared to go in there in a minute, but I will show you, as I said I would, how I get there. Now you may, if you've been used to doing this kind of stuff with the Kanger sub tanks and all that kind of stuff back in the day, then you've probably switched off by now, but hey. So I need that. Right, so coil master jig, 0.5mm cancel, and I want 9 racks, so err on the side of caution, fugly. 3.5mm, as you can possibly see. Maybe you possibly can't see. Okay, let's do that again then. Let's get some focus on the goo. 3.5mm is the bit what is going into there. So 3.5mm. Drop that back down there so you've got some chance of seeing what I'm doing. I'm sure you know how to wind a coil. I mean, if you don't, well, watch some videos of people who are much better than me. Get yourself a coil master jig, and we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 for luck, 10. And I'm aiming to get the legs in opposite directions, and you'll see why in just a minute. Where's my bloody ceramic tweezers? Oh, I don't bloody know. Oh god. Right, so what I'm going to do, try and please get it in focus. What I'm going to try and do is bend this one that wants to go down that way. I want to bend it as close to the coil as I can at 90 degrees to the coil. Like that. So I have one leg now going straight down from the coil and one shooting over there. This one I'm going to also bend down that way, but leave enough room inside it for the wick. So put my ceramic tweezers in there as close as I can get to that, and then have it down. So we end up with a coil that looks like that. And then we take a piece of Muji cotton. Where's my Muji cotton? Get a fresh pad out there. Okay. I suppose, I mean, if you watch Dean the vaping, if you watch Dean the vaping biker's Wicking video, he tested a number of different types and varieties of wicker material, and a lot of people say to take this outer skin off both sides. Others say leave it on. In Dean's video, and it was by no means, the final word in Wicking, but in his results there was no real difference between skin on and skin off. You want to be cutting this round about as wide as that doodah. Yeah, let's call it a pot. A little, for want of a better expression, I'm going to call it a pot, and it looks like a pot. So there or thereabouts. Right, okay, fine. And when you get to wrapping the coil, you need really to just taper this, either taper it down or cut a little notch in it, because you want to get that cotton level with the bottom of the coil. Doesn't matter about the top, you can trim the top off. So I've probably got
twice as much as I need, but I'm not going to try and wind on half that thickness. That piece of cotton there is only, and I will measure it exactly, 10 mil. So that is all. But what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to cut a notch, I think. Am I? So you can cut a notch or you can taper it down. It doesn't really matter. But what I think I might do is taper it down to about where it needs to be. This is not, I mean, again, this is not the only way to wick it, I'm sure. It's probably not the best way to wick it, I'm sure. But it's the way I do it. Now, going back to the skin business, I like to take the inside skin off, but leave the outside skin. When I say the inside, I mean the side that's going to be going next to the coil. I like to take that off, but leave the other one on, because it seems to hold the wick or the cotton better, so I can get more of a purchase when it comes to wrapping this around this coil. So what we do is we go, can you see that? Well, I'm going to focus it some more. Right, what we do is we put the wick up between that leg and the coil, and then pulling it fairly tight, we want to be wrapping it round the coil, keeping it level with the bottom of the coil, otherwise you'll be too short come installation time. So it's a bit of a faff, and you'll find your own way of doing it, I'm sure. The trick is to keep it fairly tight, and that's about it. You'll get about just over one complete turn probably on a piece of Muji cotton, and then you've got to fit it into the hole. So it's going to have to go into there, obviously. Now, I don't really. I should have taken that coil out first, but that. Oh, to hell with it. I'll do it for the sake of science. I'll do it. I'll take it out. Come on, Damien, come out. So there's my little cup waiting to receive my coil. Here's my coil that I've just been winding. A bit more. I think that will do us. Right. Doesn't look very neat and tidy, but about where I want to be. So I want to make sure that's at the bottom of the coil, like so. That wick is level with the bottom of the coil. Then I want to pinch it up with my tweezers, pliers, to hold it, if nothing else. And then keep it, let's get my eyes on so I can see what I'm doing, shall I? That'd be a good idea, isn't it? Useful. Right, get my eyes on. So, coil up, level with the bottom of the coil, sorry, the cotton level with the bottom of the coil. And then it's just a case of wrapping it round the coil until you've got enough on that coil to fill that hole in that doodad. Now, that's actually not three bad. Let me pull that round. I'm going to chop that little bit off the end, like so. And then I'm going to keep hold of it. Now comes the fun bit. Get me clippers for my left hand. Chop that off. Right, then we get the little cup and we put one leg in the one hole. Oh, you dirty. This is fiddly, especially if you're blind like me. Trying to feed a little piece of wire into a little tiny hole. At arm's length on camera. Right, so that is not far off fitting in there. Believe it or believe it not. Pretty damn bloody close. Okay, a bit more wants to come off, she says. Right. So this is where your fine-nosed tweezers will come into their own and probably save your life. Right. Let me. Sorry, I'm just going to get close enough to tuck this end piece, this floating end piece. I want to just tuck it into that little cup, just so I can start to push the coil in. With that little flap sticking out, I haven't got a lot of chance because it'll keep curling up on me. So I do apologise for taking it off camera, but I will show you as soon as I've done it. So tuck him in, and then you want to be pulling on these legs and pushing against the bottom of that dish, plate, cup, call it what you will, and try and have a shove from the top as well. There we go. We're going now. Now we're cooking on gas. Right, now we should be able to trim that top off somewhere close to the top of the coil. I'm just trimming off I'm trimming it at a slight angle just to try and make life a little easier. Right, messy, but hey. And you also want to make sure we've got a hole in there. So take your coily jiggy thing and just reinforce the hole. And I find that clippers, snips, wire snips are good for final trim because they can get close and they're sharp on the ends. Right, so that looks to be pretty much. Thank you, computer, again. I think every time I do a bloody video. Yes. Right, that is pretty much where we want to be with this. I know it looks messy, totally unprofessional. I'm just going around the edge, as you can see, just trimming off an angle on the edges, just the bits that are straggling, and take them off. Make sure we've got a hole. Try and get it somewhere near the middle of the cup, and then I'll give it a final push with my thumbs, which is a bit of a joke when they work. And that is that. And you end up with juice bit there, juice bit there, coily bit there. And that wasn't too bad. If I can do this on camera with my thumbs, you can do it in the comfort of your own home. Take your time and get as close as you want. It's like everything else, like all coiling stuff. It's practice. Practice makes perfect. So the next part is pretty straightforward. We drop this coil into here, like so. Pull the legs through and make sure you line up the juicy flow bits. Let me get a bit closer. Otherwise I'm talking complete and absolute bullshit. Right, so that was in focus then, fucking dip. Right, so if you look at that thing there, that is the side of the cup. There, white, not so white, white, not so white. So we've got to obviously line the juice intake on the cup with the doodad here, the RBA. This is the tricky bit. So I'm just going to flip it over, make sure my channels are still visible there, and then put your finger on the end of that coil, and then you take your plastic bit, your little plastic bit, and there's a little lug there which will fit in either of those two sides, doesn't matter which, it's on both sides anyway. So that will go into those lugs there. Can you see? Well, I'm holding this thing on my I could do it with 7 hands. Right, let me get this in and I'll show you in a second. Oh dear, why do I do these things? Right, so there is the little plastic lug inside the recess on the RBA on both sides. So there we have a negative lead just there. That's the negative lead. It's on the outside of that insulated ring. The juice channels are still in the right place, thank God. And then with that piece, I'm going to take this contact pin, put it in the middle of that ring. Good luck with that, fugly. In the middle of that ring, push it down like so. And there we have, just make sure it's nicely seated down, and we take the excess off the positive lead and the excess off the negative lead, and then we drop it on the desk. Right, so that is the coil wicked in the RBA deck. That's what it looks like that. There's the juice channels, and I will just put a little drop of juice, as you do with all freshly wicked jobbies. I'll put a little drop of juice in each of these juice intakes. Sucked him up, didn't he? Same on the other side. I'll probably drop juice all over the desk, but hey. There we go. And then some juice around the wick. Let them soak down there. Right, now hopefully when I put this in the tank it's going to work. But first of all, we put this top piece on there. You've got threads in there. Obviously, you've got threads there. So it doesn't go that way because it won't thread. There's nothing in there at all. It goes in the tank. So threads on there, and they're pretty damn smooth. Screw that on, and there you have the same as that. That's a stock coil. That's the one we've just done. So we then take this and we put it into the base, folks. It's not in the tank. Right, now I'm going to put this on the base. I'm going to put the base on the tab just to make sure that I've actually not got a short, or it's actually giving me a reading. 0.96 is what it says, but I'm sure that'll change. So at least it's showing a resistance on my build tab thingy bob jig. So what I'll do now is I'll put it back in, or put it into the tank, not back in, it's a new one. Put it in the tank, screw the tank down, there we go, that one. Oops, don't open the juice. This is the thing, anyway, I'm going to shut up because I should be doing a review for the Cyclone tank a little later on. But I just wanted to get this RBA deck out there because there's nothing else on YouTube I can see. There's one other one that's nothing like it. So I thought, well, if any of you guys have gone for the hype with this new tank, and it's bubbling away, as you can probably see. If you've got any of you guys have gone for the hype with the Cyclone and the Heracles and all that kind of stuff, and you bought one and you thought, oh, I'll get the RBA, you may get the RBA and get it home and think, well, bloody hell, what's going on here? No posts. So, right, I shall put that on the mod for now. See what it reads on the mod. 1.07. So that's all right. That'll do. No problem. A quick tidy up. So yeah, that's the there's the bloody mouthpiece. Strip tip. Jobby. Close the airflow off. So that's the Cyclone RBA. Coiled and wick. Right, so I'll let that sit for a bit and get gurgling, and then we'll go back up top and I'll give it a quick vape and then wrap it up, because I don't want it to be just a quick one, just to get it out there, just in case anybody's got the RBA deck and struggling to find out how to do it. There's nothing even on Sense's website for it, so hey, I can find it nowhere. So I thought, well, I wasn't going to do it yet. I was going to do the tank first, then the RBA, as I do, but hey, needs must, and all that kind of stuff. So, right, I shall see you guys up top in just a sec. Right, so this has been sat for a good 5 minutes now, so fingers crossed it's going to work. We're going to kick it off at 35 watts, which is 5.55 volts. If I can get the focus. Yeah, 35 watts, 5.5 volts. And it's showing 0.88 now on the coil. So here we go. And the airflow is fully open, as you can probably see. Yes, fully open. So here we go. take it up to 50. .50 watts is 6.63 volts. That's better. Don't see any bubbles yet, but there was loads earlier on. Push me luck, I've gone up 55, not 5 at a time. 55 is 6.96 volts. It's working. Up to 60. 60 watts, 7.27 volts. 2.88. What was that? 65, 7.56. Noisy old thing, isn't it? Sounds like a train coming. Gonna push 70. I might regret this, but hey, with my hand-built coil. 7.85 volts, 70 watts. Fingers crossed. Then. It's about as far as I want to go, I think. It's getting a bit warm now. 8.12 volts, 75 watts. That picture getting warm as well. That's struggling. Taste cotton. Not burn, but I can taste the cotton. So I'm going to go back down to 70 watts. No, down to 60 watts. A bit cooler down there. Bubbles. Bubbles. So it's wicking okay at 60 watts. Probably 70. I mean, 70 is a bit warm for me, but it's wicking now. So, yeah. Thank you very much indeed for watching, as always. If you stuck with me through that painful experience of watching me coil and wick and flap about and stuff, I appreciate it. If you've liked the video, leave me a like down there, subscribe down there, or subscribe up there. Let me just quickly check. I think it came from here best, but it could not. It could have come from elsewhere. Look. No, it came from 3F. 3F vape it came from. Yeah. Now, are you sitting down? 3F vape. I know there's a link. That link there is not clickable. There'll be a clickable link in the description. At the moment, it's on their website on sale for $1.99, which is it's crazy. Okay, it's a fact. You get what you pay for, I suppose. But as you can see, it's doing the job. And with a bit more time and effort and more practice, I'm sure we'll get bigger and better coils on it. I'll get a 4 mil in there probably at some point. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you've got it and you've tried it, leave me a comment down there. If you have sat and watched it and thought, ugly, yeah, crap, leave me a comment down there. And thank you also to my subscribers. Numbers are steadily going up. I appreciate each and every one of your subscriptions. There's lots more to come. I had a shed load of stuff come yesterday. I've got tanks, I've got drippers, I've got all kinds of stuff to review, and loads of juices. So I shall say to you, have a good day. More importantly, have yourselves a damn good vape. And I will see you in the next one.